The next microphone I'm going to be looking at is the Shure PG81. It comes as part of the Shure drum microphone kit. It comes as one of a pair, which makes it ideal for stereo overheads. The next microphone we're going to look at is the Shure 16A. Okay, just take note, it has a on-off switch, which is quite discreet, which you can catch you out thinking, why is the microphone working? That could be the reason. Very good for hi-hats and single spot acoustic instruments, e.g. acoustic guitar. The next microphone in college we've got is Behringer B2. Don't be fooled, it does look very much like the Neumann, but it isn't. Okay. It is a flexible condenser microphone though. On the front we have three polar patterns. We've got omnidirectional, figure of 8 and cardioid. And to the back we've got a high pass filter and an attenuator switch. A very flexible microphone, okay? Can be used for vocals, very good in acoustic instruments, very good in orchestra, can be used for overheads. So there's a lot of applications it can be used for, and the quality is very good. It comes with its own specific cradle, similar to as the Neumann does, and basically it just slots into the cradle like so, okay? And it's completely suspended. Next up we have a fantastic microphone here. This is the AKG solid tube microphone, okay? There is only one switch actually on the microphone, which is on the side here, and it's a 20 decibel attenuator switch. It sounds great for speech and vocals. Those are my two main suggestions for this microphone. The other thing to notice about this microphone is that on the bottom it does not have an XLR connector like all the other microphones do. Okay, this is a special multi-pin connector that allows the microphone to be linked directly to its own power supply box, which is here. Okay, to the front of the box we get a green power light when the unit's turned on, and here is where we can actually change the high pass filter switch if so required. To the back of the unit we have this multi-pin connector again. This is the cable then that has linked directly to the microphone. To the side of that we have the traditional XLR output, which is our audio signal, which then feeds directly to the mixing desk. If we've got any earth hum or any earth loops going off, we've got a ground lift switch here as well. Just over here we've got the traditional 3-pin IEC mains connector there for power. The next microphone in our inventory in the condenser family is the Soundfield ST250, and it's made just down the road in Wakefield. Okay, there are no switches on this microphone, and the other key thing to notice about it is if you look very carefully through the grill, you'll be able to see that there are 4 diaphragms actually mounted inside the capsule there. Okay, it's very, very sensitive and fantastic for recording ambient environments, okay, orchestras as well, for just general overall sound where you want to pick up as much detail as possible, ideal, okay. On the bottom there is not an XLR connector anymore. This is now a specialist multi-pin connector that screws in, okay. That allows the microphone to be linked directly to its own control box, which is here. Okay, this is the ST250 control box. Okay, before I go into the front, on the back, to the right hand side here, we have the cable from the microphone, and we have 2 XLR outputs. Okay, so we can run this microphone in mono or stereo, or we can run it in B format, which is a multi-channel format, which I'll not be talking about in this particular demonstration. On the front we have attenuator switches, we've got high pass filters, we've got switches to tell you which direction the microphone is in, whether it's horizontally or vertical. We can decide that we want to record in middle and side stereo format or B format multi-channel. We have the first control here can decide how wide the recording is going to be. Is it going to be mono, quite narrow, wide stereo? We can scroll through all the various polar patterns, anything from omnidirectional to figure of 8. Okay, also accept 1/4-inch stereo jack for monitoring via headphones. Okay. The next mic in our inventory is the Soundfield Mark V. This is a very, very sensitive microphone and sounds exceptional, especially in ambient environments where you just want to capture a bit of everything. Okay, also great for orchestra recordings. You can actually put this microphone in the centre of an orchestra and it'll pick up in all directions, because again it has 4 diaphragms mounted inside which will pick up sound from all directions. This microphone will not accept a traditional XLR connector. Okay, it's multi-pin and it has its own specific cable which feeds its own specific control unit, which is what I'm going to look at next. Okay then, here we have the control box for the Soundfield Mark V. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of the various parameters on the front. Okay then, the control box for the Mark V is very comprehensive. I'm not going to go through every single parameter, I'm just going to go through the key ones so you understand what the main functions are. The first stage is the input stage for the microphone when you connect it. We've got large increment gains on the first pot, and the second pot is a fine input gain adjustment. Okay, the input stage adjustment, as you change your gain structure, you'll see the meters up here going up and down. Okay, if you're going to start going into too much into the red, obviously we might know that might be bordering on distortion. So ideally, nicely into the green, and if it occasionally touches the red, you might be okay. The Soundfield controls here are mainly to do with how the microphone picks up the sounds from any direction. Okay, I suggest you doing more advanced reading on that to do more information rather than this brief introduction. Further along here, after the meters, we have the polar patterns, and again this is variable all the way from omnidirectional all the way through to figure of 8. Okay, we can adjust the output angle, which is very similar to the width over here at this output stage, and finally here we have a 1/4-inch stereo jack connector for monitoring via headphones. The other buttons we can have a high pass filter, we can operate in Midland side mode, we can operate in surround B format mode, we can also have various operation modes, and we can decide how the microphone is aligned, is it horizontal or vertical. We can test the whole system with an oscillator, which then shows meters in the centre. And over here we have solo buttons, which can solo the various diaphragms on the microphone. Okay, at the back of the control unit, the first main connection on the right hand side is the microphone cable connection. It's the specific multi-pin connector. Okay, so that feeds them. That comes in from the microphone. In the middle, we can work in stereo using left and right XLR outputs, or we can actually take individual outputs from various stages around the microphone. These are labelled up as W, X, Y and Z. Most of the time if you're working in stereo, it's probably just as easy just to take out left and right. Obviously we've got a 3-pin IEC mains cable, and the on-off switch for the whole unit, including the microphone, is that little switch there.